Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbe with Believe in the Run.
And this is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And you're listening to The Drop, our weekly podcast right before the New York City Marathon.
Wow.
It happened fast.
It did. We made it.
I mean,
actually, we didn't make it yet. Hold on. I should pump the brakes on that
there's
one.
a couple days left.
Yeah. I'm torn between actually running and keeping my body active or not rolling my ankle.
I actually paid a guy in our neighborhood to pick up any loose rocks, pine cones, anything, just to clear the path for you.
So just run around in our neighborhood.
Yeah, just
Okay.
make that move.
Right.
I even had somebody remove all the wings that were laying around.
Oh, yeah, that's good. And we don't need that pigeon voodoo,
Yeah.
robot, black sorcery.
Yeah.
Need that.
So, Robbie, you actually...
It is Halloween.
You took that is, it's scary.
Yeah.
You took a vacation, sort of. I don't know. Would you consider it a vacation? What'd you do last week?
I wouldn't consider it a vacation, just a little stop in, check in with some old friends. Drove down to Suffolk, Virginia, which it's like, why don't they just call it Southfolk?
Or just not, it's
Because it's Norfolk and Suffolk.
oh, I'd never thought about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the idea behind it.
Do you think it's just somebody who had a mouthful of like
Yeah.
biscuits or something?
Oh, just a wad of tobacco,
Yeah.
like a plug of tobacco in there.
You don't want Suffolk, you want Norfolk.
Yeah, but those are British terms, though, right? Suffolk, isn't that a?
I think there is.
Isn't that a place
yes,
in
I do believe
England?
that is in England.
Okay. Anyways, so
But that's, we know all about European geography. We're pretty good at it.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, in Jeopardy, I always get those questions.
Oh, dude, I looked at a map of Europe a couple weeks ago, maybe during UTMB or something. Man, I had no clue what was happening over there.
P.S. I know it gets really
What does
weird.
that even mean?
Like, the majors.
I don't know. I
Like,
thought
where
Croatia
France
was
is in
maybe
Spain.
a country.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Croatia even a country at this point?
Here's what I would equate that to.
Sorry.
You know how, like, if you're from Europe, you probably know where New York is, Florida, California,
Yeah.
Texas.
Texas, for sure.
The other stuff, you're probably like, yeah, it's somewhere in there. Like, when you think about it, like, I know where France is, Portugal, England, Italy. You know the major.
Spain.
Yeah, you know all the.
Yeah, you definitely know all those.
And
yeah, I definitely know where all those are.
It gets weird when you get towards Norway, Sweden, and Denmark because you're like, yeah, they're all there.
Austria, Germany, all those, they sort of, I feel like they were maybe when the dinosaurs died, they all kind of came together and then they just,
Are you talking about Pangea?
breaking Pangea.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good name another good name
That
for
actually is
a song.
That's the name of a band, actually.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
All right.
They were like a small band back in the day.
That's a good name, guys. You should have kept working on your skills.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, like the Austria, all those countries, I had no idea how close they were to each other.
Yeah.
Like they're really close.
That's why when World War II happened, Germany was just like in a day able to get places. And
Yeah, I feel like you could tank everything within 2 hours.
how far is it by tank?
Yeah, but which is weird because I watched Carmen Sandiego a lot as a child and just didn't stick.
Maybe you didn't care where she was.
I think I was focused on the Rockapella soundtrack. Do you remember that, Meg?
I was never into that show.
I forget where we're still like 8 years apart from each other. So
Are we?
8 years? How old are
I'm 35.
6? Okay, 6 years, 7 years. All right. Anyways,
How did we get here?
You're
What's
not-
happening?
oh, so anyways, about Suffolk. Yeah, I was there, hung out with a friend of mine from college. We played some disc golf on Saturday. That was fun. And
You know how there's a lot of apparel and a look? Like if you see a runner, you can
Yeah.
identify like how into running they are
yeah.
by how they're dressed and their fit. In disc golf, is it the same?
Yeah, I think it's just cargo shorts down to below your knees and a baggy t-shirt. But no, some of them are real intense. They have like a cart that they pull with them with like 50 discs. I'm like, I have a bag of my own discs, but it's like
Bag of discs.
basically ones that I found on the course. Like I don't buy my own
A
discs.
bag of dicks.
Yeah. Yeah. I have that too. That's a different hobby. Yeah. But it was fun, like, and although at one point we all went swimming in this pond that was there. Did you see that with stories?
Naked swimming?
No, I have my Patagonia baggy shorts, which are basically swim trunks.
No, you should have been doing that in that Tracksmith Cannonball Run collection.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah.
But it was like a YMCA or a 4-H club property or something. And I don't know if this pond it would seem like very algae laden.
So why did you decide to swim in it?
Well, it was hot. I remember how hot it was that day.
Yeah.
And then it just seemed like a good idea. And then they had a platform there, and we did a depth gauge to see how deep it was.
How deep was it?
And then it was like 8 feet deep.
Okay.
And so then we were just jumping off it. And then you know how when you're with your
Alligators.
friends and you start, like one person jumps off, and you're like, oh, you should do this.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps escalating.
Yeah.
Well, it could have ended poorly.
I think you're boring, right?
Because I was doing flips off the railing.
Okay.
At one point, I lost my road ID bracelet.
Like
which,
when you're talking about this is something you do when you're 10.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Actually, we did this in the Bahamas for.
Dude, you know how
Like
it
I
is.
said,
Yeah.
when you're 10.
No, it doesn't
think
end.
you're 10.
If you're a guy, it just doesn't end.
Yeah. If you've had a couple, well, that's a weird thing. Did you have any alcoholic beverages?
I did, but not excessive. I was switching with NAs. I had 2.
But it helps to loosen up
3.
for those back.
Yeah, I
flips.
mean, it was like Shiner Ruby Redbird, which is basically water. So you don't even, yeah. Anyways, so I jumped in and lost my road ID bracelet, and then you swam from like one end of the pond to the other. I'm not a swimmer in any way. The next day, my body hurt so bad. Like
swimming?
Yeah, which was for like 5 minutes. And
you used upper body.
well,
You made that mistake.
throwing disc.
Probably the jump.
Oh, the disc golf would
golf
really
too.
do it.
But it was like my whole body.
Oh wow.
I was
Have you
like,
recovered?
dude. Yeah, I'm fine now, but it
Okay.
took a couple of days, and I'm
You're
like,
basically a triathlete.
Yeah.
yeah, basically. But it's surreal that you can run for 20 miles and feel generally fine the next day. But if I swim across a farm pond,
That's because it's new muscles.
I know,
I
but
bet it was more from
Okay.
the jumping than the swimming.
You know
It
our.
was probably both,
You know our
yeah.
girl Val.
From which one?
Asics Gold or.
Oh yeah,
Do you think she'd be good at
Val
disc
Allman.
golf? Yeah.
yeah, she probably rule. Although it's kind of how like golf. It's not necessarily your
Technique.
arm strength. She would be great at it because the power behind it is like a spin. Like the more you from your, I don't know, centrifugal force. I'm just saying words now. That is what generates like the power. Like kind of in golf, how your hips,
And she said that Reese's peanut butter cups were her favorite.
Yeah, and she's right. Yeah.
And this is the time. Like you could probably walk around the neighborhood and get some Reese's peanut butter cups tonight.
Yeah, I feel like if anyone doesn't have Reese's, then I'm not sure what they're doing because that's the candy.
Yeah.
Just
Well, we
everyone
went.
do Reese's.
You know what they do? I went to get the multi candy thing, and the pack had Reese's, but then it also had crappy things in it. So I didn't get the Reese's one. I was stuck with the traditional Hershey bars with the crackle, the
like the minis.
yeah. And I wanted to get the full size bars, but I was like, we don't get enough kids to. Then I would just have full size candy bars in my house.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be legend though for the kids that did show up.
Yeah. Is it that rare still?
I think, yeah,
Are you trick or treating the boys tonight?
yeah.
All right.
I guess I'm treating.
What's the
them.
costume this year? What's the big thing?
They're just Ninja Turtles. I feel like that's in.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not. I guess I'm dressing up as a podcaster for tonight.
That's cool.
I like it.
You're going to
You
take
just
those
get
headphones with you?
Yeah. I'm taking the whole studio with us. We're gonna do a Halloween edition, man on the street style.
I like it.
We should have decorated our podcast with. I'm kidding. I hate decorating.
Helen,
Oh, we
get down there quick. Helen's our office manager.
She's a gem.
But yeah, so it was a fun weekend. But I since I was in taper mode, and I was like, I'll have a couple.
Yeah.
But I really didn't go crazy or anything. It was very, very chill, very moderate.
All right.
So I felt pretty good about that.
Minus like the backflips into the pond.
Oh yeah, that.
Okay.
It was, in hindsight, a really bad idea because
Yeah.
I hurtled over the fence on the
no.
thing, and it's this high. It's about.
And we
4.
watch all those videos on Instagram of fail.
They were
fail
like, jump
frenzy.
over the fence. I was like, I got this. I did it. I cleared it, but it was not a great idea.
Do you realize that when you're doing that and your friends are telling you to do that, they're not doing it to watch you succeed. They're doing it to that thrill for them to see if you succeed.
Were their phones out while you were doing it?
No, because we were all everyone's swimming. It was great. Anyways, but yeah, that was my time down there. And man, I was in this is in North Carolina because we had drove there. There's cotton like everywhere. Like it's just all over the field, like the roads, the fields. I guess it's prime season for that. But
cotton?
Like cotton fields, which honestly makes me feel weird because I'm like, I know the history of this place. I just don't feel comfortable being around here. Like I know what happened here, and they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna keep doing this. I'm like, all right, I guess I feel like they should just retire the crop in general. Like, let's just
more cotton.
Yeah, let's just move on to corn or something.
Let's go to plastics.
Yeah, let's do synthetics.
Not a history with synthetics. All right, first check-in. You've made it to New York. If you're running the New York City Marathon, you put in all the effort for training, and I don't care. Maybe you did Indy last week or Chicago a couple of weeks ago, or maybe you're not doing a marathon at all, but you're just trying to get miles in and stay fit. Be proud of yourself. This is a fun way to be active, be out, see the world, do all those things. Maybe if you see us doing New York and posting to our Instagram or whatever, you'll get inspired to sign up for a race, or maybe just inspired to come out for a shakeout run at one of these races, and just know that there's this whole fun world waiting for you that involves running, and not all of it's about paces or distance or anything. It's just about being part of the community and having fun with a bunch of people that are like-minded.
What have you guys been up to?
Well, you didn't get into your running while we have you here.
All right. I mean, I did a 10-mile run while I was down there, so that was kind of my last long run-ish.
Did you get out early so you could avoid the heat, or did you run it in the heat? Well, it was on
that Friday morning when it was really nice out, I felt like. It was in like 60
you went Friday
degrees.
morning?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did it Friday morning. And that was, it was nice. It was kind of one of those suburban runs where you're just going down
Loop around cul-de-sacs.
Courts and cul-de-sacs, trying to get in as many miles as you can.
See, and that's the worst when we were down in Florida doing that. The flies, for some reason.
Oh, like the gnats or whatever?
No, the ones that landed on you and bite you or something.
Oh, yeah, those big ones.
Yeah.
Those are dangerous.
I remember trying to get miles in down there. That was the worst.
Yeah, no, Florida with the humidity and everything else.
Shout out to all our Florida listeners.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is a time. Is there a time of year to run in Florida? I feel like there isn't.
If there is, it's winter, but it's still hot.
But even then, the Olympic trials are freaking out about that.
Looks like they might move it.
Yeah.
They got some traction.
I mean, it really is ridiculous to have it start at noon in Orlando.
Yeah.
Like the people go to Disney World in February just because it's going to be 70, 80 degrees.
Right.
But they shut down the park and started at 5 a.m, those races.
Right. But I'm saying just in general, people.
Oh.
He's saying the point of going there in winter is
Yeah.
because it's warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that so did they do that because they wanted to replicate the Summer Olympics?
No, Megan's got it down. It was television rights.
I assumed that's
Yeah,
that
it was the
why.
broadcasting. They wanted more viewership, which will, I guess, obviously be higher at noon versus 9 a.m. I guess people sleep in.
All those people who love watching marathons at noon.
I'm like, yeah, the people who are watching this will get up at that time.
But anyway, so apparently NBC and the broadcast team are fine shifting it to the local Orlando, whatever, that's not willing
Municipal.
to.
Oh.
So I don't know. I guess they're working on that.
Sounds like some gerrymandering going on. We need to redraw those lines. I don't know.
Yeah. It could be that.
Is election season coming up? Are we in that time of year?
They are. We're getting ads for Virginia.
Really?
Apparently, everybody in Virginia wants to ban abortions, or they don't.
Or they don't.
Wait, where are you getting ads?
Like that.
On the TV.
You presented both sides.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do one or the other.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of crazy right now with the way the world is, that is our major concern. I mean, I get it. It is important, but I feel it's almost fortunate that is what we're
there's
arguing
a lot
about.
of things going on. But I think that's a contentious issue within Virginia specifically, maybe because I think they're kind of like that
floater state in between.
Yeah.
They can be
Like
one way.
a little bit of a
Swing state. That's the
There
word
it
I was
is.
looking for.
Maryland they don't even do any advertising because it's generally
It doesn't
Democratic
matter.
through and through.
It's like,
Even the Republic-
you're gonna
Yeah.
vote for us anyway.
There's no point honestly in the primaries. There's no point even
no.
or in the presidential election. There's no point in even voting in Maryland.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I didn't know. There's elections going on this year? Is that maybe that's just
Yeah.
specific to certain states?
I think it's
Yeah, okay.
depends on what state you're in.
All right.
But yeah, if you're voting and doing that, good for you.
Yeah.
Keeping
that sticker
democracy
on.
alive.
Put that sticker
No,
on.
don't.
Put it on
We don't
Instagram.
need it.
Yeah.
Dude, too
I was thinking about that. We used to because it's Halloween.
Yeah.
In the early days of social, like especially the Facebook days, your feed would be just flooded with brands being like "Happy Halloween,"
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't seen much of that lately.
Because really nobody cares.
Yeah.
You know what they care about? New shoes,
New
shoe
sh-
release,
Yeah.
embargo up.
That's true. Wait, so how's your running going? Everything? What's happening?
How about you, Meg?
I'm good. We're not going to taper over here. We're just going to roll right into it and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I like that.
still running a bunch.
You're doing the Robbe method.
Yeah, zero taper.
It's the opposite of Robbie.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll just do a couple miles. Meg's doing it.
But when I'm not prepared for a marathon, I run the whole way into it.
I'm cramming for the test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cramming. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, procrastination is the key to success.
Yeah.
Is what I say. Well, you might be surprised when you get a PR this week.
I would be very
Yeah.
surprised, especially when I go out at a jogging pace. Yeah, no, New York City is going to be a fun run for me. Going to run with Megan Featherston.
And
High five a bunch of people.
yeah, that does sound like a lot of fun.
That's the way to do
I
it.
checked the temperatures this morning.
Still looks good, right?
It's warming up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't know, guys. It's going to be good.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is. What are you going to do?
Here's the
right?
thing. It's going to be better than last year. That I can confirm.
100.
That's
100.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
I think so. Let's see. I think
Oh, 48 to 64. You're good.
all right.
It's perfect.
That 60 number keeps going up.
That's not going to be there until late.
And it did say humidity is like crazy low, like 50% or something.
There you go.
So that's cool.
Dude, 48 at the start, dreamy.
Yeah. When
When you start,
first
For
40,000 people are starting.
Well, are you really in wave 3?
Yeah.
That's so
I
stupid.
have a 10:20 start.
We'll figure that one out.
That's so
We'll get you
long
out
because
there.
you're going to be getting up at 4.
I feel like I could scam my way in for sure to get into another crowd.
Yeah, we can't say that.
I mean, did I say scam?
I think you.
I don't think I know what that word means.
You don't. You meant scan. Scan your bib.
Yeah, scam
You
my
scan
way
in.
in.
Into the
yeah.
correct position of where you're
Where you're
supposed
supposed
to
to
go.
start
That's
with the
correct.
New York Roadrunners
Yes.
and
I'll
the
do
New
that.
York City
Yes.
Marathon presented by TCS.
I'll do
I
that.
will actually also be running with the GoPro, so I can't wait to capture you guys in the beginning, and maybe if we run together for some of it. And
Why would you be running with me?
Yeah, how are you gonna? What are you gonna?
no, in the beginning, I mean, like before we go into the corrals.
I was like,
We're gonna be
man,
hanging out for like 3 hours.
I
Yeah.
thought you thought I was a lot faster than what I was. I was like,
Robbie's
all right.
going sprinting to
All
the sprinting to
Yeah.
the to the start.
Yeah, that'd be cool because we didn't really have any footage from last year of us like hanging out beforehand.
I know.
did
I
we?
gotta. I'll do better.
You know,
this
we
year.
did.
Okay.
We did.
I was looking at my phone trying
Because
to
I took a lot in the
Okay.
in the waiting area.
Oh, okay.
Did you run with the GoPro the whole
Yeah.
time too, or
I-
the 360 GoPro?
GoPro.
I was trying to look at my phone to see if I had any.
I bought the handles for it last year. The little handles.
That's right, because I was deciding which one to run with.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was saying I was looking through my phone trying to find photos. Didn't have it. This is like the most boring story ever. I'm explaining how I was looking for photos of
Okay.
a pre-marathon hanging out time. That's horrible.
Okay, but what was fun last year? Do you remember we made fun of? Not made fun of, but we mocked.
Wait, making fun or mocked?
Well,
Which one?
Imitate it.
imitate. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we weren't being mean. We were just
Yeah, imitate.
recreating
Recreating,
the
yeah.
Shalane and Alexi Papa dance thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
I didn't
with
realize
Laura
that's what
Green.
we were doing, but okay.
Yeah.
They were doing like what I did is I got her and Laura Green doing the They did like that little
And Ronaldo.
in Ronaldo.
Oh, that's right.
A dance.
Okay.
And then we took a picture in front of the Verrazano's Bridge where you could see the bridge behind us.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, and in front of the porta potty that I used like 20 times before the race.
They'll be there again.
Sweet.
Don't worry.
Robbie, like this is the best scenario. So for the VIP tent, it's got its own porta potties. And for Robbie, it was like a revolving door. He would come hang out for a little
They
bit.
should just put my name on one of the doors at this point.
Bring a Sharpie and write it on.
You should decorate
Not a
it.
bad idea.
Decorate it.
Oh yeah, just find whatever trash I find on the way there. Just put it. Hang
No,
it
I'm
up.
saying make it look like a little Swiss chalet.
Ooh,
You know?
yeah. Have
Like a
little-
cuckoo clock for Robbie to go to the bathroom.
Dude, have a little like iPad with a fireplace on the inside.
I would love that.
Maybe a little not a Bunsen burner. One of those things that there's like heating.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Sterno can.
Yeah, sterner can. I didn't really mean that, but I know. But one of those like, you know, those things like mini heating up device.
Yeah, they use
Mini heating up device.
They
Not a
use
stove.
for like when people go camping.
Yeah.
They have like, or it's
Oh,
actually
like a
backpacking.
MSRs. And yeah, I could use a backpacking stove. Put that in there with maybe some hot chocolate on it
A little bookshelf
or coffee. Yeah.
with your top.
Now
books.
I'm
You might not even run the marathon. Just hang out.
yeah. Now I'm just thinking about it.
Flat screen TV.
Oh yeah, I mean you're sitting down, just enjoying that life. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
It should be good. Yeah, so I thought one of the coolest things that people did who weren't privy to what we had was the inflatable chairs. Like
Yeah.
people bringing
get
inflatable
creative.
rafts and stuff like that. Because you're sitting in a field, so anything you can do to keep your body off the ground.
Yeah, if you really have no concern for single-use plastics, then definitely go to Five Below, grab like a inflatable raft.
Or a chair.
it on
People
there.
had chairs, like inflatable chairs.
Yeah.
Or just bring, I don't think you can get a like an aluminum chair in there. You wouldn't be able to get like a camping chair.
Yeah,
No.
how would you get it there?
But even if you could hold it,
Oh,
I was trying to think if you could do a hot air balloon, if you could blow up enough balloons that would like
that would
lift
work.
you off the ground. Probably not. You need helium for that.
You could kill a tauntaun and cut it open
Yeah.
and get inside.
I don't think they roam Staten Island though.
I'd be surprised if they didn't.
There's some crazy stuff on Staten Island.
There was.
But yeah, I feel like, man, I was listening to this podcast last week where it was as a garbage truck driver from Staten Island. It was Theo Vaughn's podcast, and I didn't realize how much those guys made. He was from Staten Island, but did garbage in Manhattan. Like you would think, garbage truck.
I would
guy.
guess they make between 80 to 120 in New York.
I thought it was like 150.
That's actually accurate. With overtime, they can make like 200,000.
Yeah, I think I heard that before.
Just like never knew that was. It's one of the most desirable jobs. Like the
Is
Desirable?
Is it unionized?
it is. They have 100.
I mean, think if you didn't have like a skill, like you don't have to go to college or
Right.
No,
even
but-
mechanical.
The
trade
so the
school.
thing is they have like 100,000 applicants each year, and there's only 6,000 jobs available.
Whoa.
And so it's the pay, it's retirement after I think 21 years, which you get full pension
Oh,
for the
wow.
rest of your life
Wow.
at half pay.
Yeah, I gotta guess though. If you're picking up New York City garbage,
Yeah.
what's your lifespan?
And then that dude had a bunch of surgeries and everything for shoulders, knees, whatever. But the other thing is like you have an 8-hour shift, but if you can finish it in 3 hours, then you're done for the day. So like they would just do.
Wait, so how are they narrowing down to 6? Like, what are the skill sets they're looking for?
They have a test you have to take that's pretty difficult, I guess. Like, and basically, if you have to get 100% on that test to even be considered for it.
What would be the test?
I'm not sure. It said there's
Like-
like 130 questions on it. I'm not sure what all it entails, but
That's interesting.
yeah.
I wonder if we could pass it.
That'd be cool to get access to that and see if you could.
See how we do. See
Yeah.
if we could become New
pretty
York
su-
City
I
Pretty
feel
garbage.
sure
like
I'd get
Robbie
100.
would be a trash expert.
Yeah, I'm getting the
no,
bonus
Robbie.
points on
No,
that, baby.
here's what the problem with Robbie be, and there's a big problem. I can get, like you just said, you have 8 hours to get a shift done.
Mm-hmm.
If you get it done in 3 hours, you're done. Robbie would say, "Oh, look at this." Why
You're
is
not
someone-
wrong.
Why is
12
somebody?
hours later.
Robbie would open up. There'd probably be a store in Manhattan that was like antiques, but it was just stuff he picks out of garbage.
Well, that dude said that there's some of his shift partners would be those types of people who would just like literally open every bag and just look through it and then keep whatever they could find.
No.
He was like, some people were making good side money on that.
I bet you could. I mean, there's times where I throw something away where I'm just like, I just need it out of the house.
Yeah.
And I know it's like, I could probably put this
Right.
on sale in Facebook Marketplace or whatever. I'm like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
It's garbage. It goes.
Why aren't you texting me about this stuff?
I should.
Oh, man. Anyways.
Yeah. So I would think it would be horrible to work with you on this because it would probably take the full 8 hours to get stuff done.
Yeah. That would be your overtime, is just watching me.
You'd be scanning the ground for pennies and
Oh,
quarters.
jeez.
And jumping off the back of the truck, and it would sound like a maraca.
Accurate. But anyways, how are you feeling? How are you feeling, Thomas, about
I
New
feel
York?
good. Like, I had a cold for like 3 weeks, it seemed like, and that seems to be clearing up. My butt cheek is starting to soften a little bit.
Wow.
So that feels good.
How much detail do you want?
Are you using that chirp wheel for that?
Yes.
I have been using the chirp wheel. I got that rotating one, the RPM, rotating massager, rotating power massager.
Oh yeah, that's
Maybe
probably
that's
what it is.
It's pretty sweet. What it is? Do you remember when you were a kid and you go to those old gyms and they'd have the rotating,
It's the rolling percussive massage.
rolling percussive massage? They had the rolling thing, like you could put your back on it and it would spin, and it had like the wooden dowels on it.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, it was the same gyms that had the little shimmy.
Oh, like the belts or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
It's like we're talking from the like equipment from the 60s, like where the
Dude, you could convince anyone back then that something was an exercise device.
your body was moving, and I think they felt like
They had no clue.
If your body's moving,
Yeah.
it's got to be. It probably does. Like if you stand in that thing long enough and it shakes you, you're probably burning some calories.
Definitely, your body's doing something.
You know how people set dumb Guinness World Records all the time?
Uh-huh.
Someone should set the longest time in one of those belt sanders or whatever.
Belt shaker.
Yeah.
I wonder what those are called. Somebody please let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of like one of those where it has individual spinning rods that have like thin and wide parts to it.
Dude, they still make them.
They make the shake thing. How much does one cost?
You get one on Amazon for $230.
Should we put one at the office here and like people can use it to warm up before they run?
Maybe. It's called a vibrating belt machine. So that it just describes what it does, and that's what it's called.
what are they saying it does now? Like, what is
I
the
think
purpose
it's the
of it?
same concept. It's supposed to slim your ass and stomach, I think.
Oh, it's so good.
Shake the fat off.
Wow. What if that actually is the key to eternal life and nobody's doing it anymore?
There's
you
plenty
can
of people
try.
in Florida probably doing that
Yeah.
still. There's probably a whole building of them.
Oh, man.
Instead of getting on that Stairmaster, I'm just going to have this belt shake me for an hour.
That's amazing. So you've been using the belt machine for your training?
Yeah, that's pretty much exclusively.
No,
But yeah, I've tried the roll. It's pretty good. So I was skeptical because I've tried the vibrating foam rollers before, and that's like you just don't need it.
Yeah,
It's like
I agree.
it's extra.
It's one of those add-ons that doesn't really enhance any part of the experience.
So I thought that's what this was going to be, but it actually it spins, and the individual rods spin. So it's kind of like it almost feels like you're going to a car wash.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Getting that, yeah.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it rolls. And I feel like it does a good job. I do feel like it's maybe a step above regular foam rolling,
Yeah,
but you can also get the same kind of feeling from foam rolling.
I feel like that's a device on Family Double Dare, maybe, where they have to.
Try to get over.
I think there's like two of those things where you have to get through and then get the flag or whatever.
That would make sense.
Yeah, maybe that's probably where they stole the idea from.
Yeah. Or those big machines that they used to have in the gym. Like, think about the gym back then. You went and took a hot sauna.
Yeah,
You shook for a while.
Yeah.
You laid your back on a rolling thing. You were done for the day.
I mean,
maybe some jump rope.
Yeah, it was basically gyms were just recovery zones.
Yeah, it really
Like
was.
at the post marathon recovery
You
tent,
probably
that was a gym.
You had a towel around you. You had a towel around you and a cigar.
Oh
You're
yeah,
getting shake.
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, you need that post run cigarette or post workout cigarette to relax. For
And then
sure.
you go and you'd have this dude in a tight white shirt with the white slacks doing karate chops on your back.
Oh yeah. I never had that, but maybe someday.
Yeah, he'll splash you down with some aftershave at the end.
Yeah.
You're all good.
Some brute.
Yeah, you get a haircut, a shave.
Do you wear cologne?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I should start doing that because
you stink.
yeah,
That's pretty much.
number one reason. But
That's the number one reason most people wear cologne.
that's actually not the reason that I chose. But no, so it's how the sense of smell is so tied to memory or nostalgia or whatever. I feel
For
like
your kids.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
a way I feel like that.
That's cherry vanilla tobacco was my grandfather.
Oh yeah.
And he smelled so good. Like I remember hugging him and you would just get wafted because he'd always have a pouch. He was a pipe smoker. He had the pouch in his he always dressed in a suit. Like even to the last days, like the dude was
Nice.
slicked back hair,
Yeah.
suit.
It's like Royal Tenenbaum.
Yeah. And when you hugged him, that vanilla cherry tobacco smell coming from the pouch in his pocket just was like heaven.
I need that. Man, I was actually thinking about your pipe collection the other day
Yeah.
because
That's all his.
I don't know if I was thinking about camping or something, but I used to. I guess I still have one. I haven't used it in years.
You can always borrow one if you want.
But a pipe, and for that same reason, the nostalgia feel and how good pipe tobacco smells.
Well, that's the thing. When I got his pipes, I was like, I'll go get the cherry vanilla tobacco from Faders, which has been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it smells good when you're not smoking it.
Right.
When you're smoking it, it's different.
But for other people, I think it still smells good when you smoke it. It's not like a cigar smoke. It smells terrible.
No, it's aromatic.
But for you, it doesn't. You don't actually smell the tobacco per se.
Yeah. All right, second check-in. It's New York City week. We're excited. We're pumped. We're hoping that we'll see some of you in the Shakeout run tomorrow. If you're listening to this on Friday, the Shakeout run's tomorrow, 10 a.m., Levan, Upper West Side. And we're hoping to see you there. But if not, don't worry. We'll be doing this again. So make sure that you're signing up for races, getting your miles in, and maybe next time you'll join us for a shakeout. If you are joining us for a shakeout, maybe let Robbie know that you listened to the podcast today. He loves that. Meg's so quiet today.
Yeah. Okay.
Just taking this all in.
We can cut this part out if you want, but so speaking of, okay, so you know how I talked to you about this before, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
Okay. So I don't know if Meg knows this, but
oh gosh.
I had to cover it because I wrote something for a magazine and it might be coming out sooner than I thought.
All right.
But you know, like the whole vaping thing. Do you think I can?
I mean, go for it.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So Meg's like shocked because I don't know if I talked to Thomas about this before, but so I wrote a thing about it and it's supposed to come out like later and it might come out sooner. That's why I feel like we should talk about it.
You wrote a thing about vaping.
About quitting.
Oh, okay.
About quitting vaping.
What magazine would this appear in?
So it was Men's Health.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
that's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I told you I was writing a thing for them, but I guess
I think you told me.
Okay, so it's coming out.
I didn't know it was about vaping though.
Yeah. So it's coming out, like it was supposed to come out in January and might be coming out, as I found out today, like before I recorded this, that it might be coming out this week or next week. So I was like, I should probably get it out of the way if that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's like people are gonna know about it. So, yeah. So Meg, do you know about this at all?
No, I still am not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I talked about this with Thomas. So like when during the beginning of the pandemic, like early on, I kind of like, you know how I used to smoke like 10 or 11 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then I quit. And like sometimes I'd go, like if I went on a camping trip with friends, I would maybe hit their vape every now and then, just like it's like the same thing you're talking about, smoking a pipe while camping. But I never did it like other than that. And then sometime during the pandemic, I was at a friend's house, and like it was like the craziest thing ever. He had a friend who like came over because we were hanging outside, and he was saying, I was like, yeah, I vape sometimes, whatever. And he's like, oh, I have like a whole like basement full of them because he worked for freaking RJ Reynolds.
Okay.
And I was like, he's like, yeah, I'll just give you some. And I was like, all right, cool. So
now, let's clarify. When you say vape, you mean tobacco
vaping. I'm sorry, because there is, I always forget. Yeah, a lot of people vape marijuana. And so I was like, oh yeah, sure. I'll like just have this and then I'll, like do it whenever for fun. Well, I ended up like doing it a little bit here and there, and then a little bit more. And then like when we were working from home during the pandemic, it was like, oh, if you're bored at lunch. And then like before I knew it, I was basically like addicted to it. And so I had tried to quit multiple times, like throughout the pandemic, like for a month here, a month there, but it was pretty terrible. Like, and I hated it, and it was like very stressful for me.
What made it stressful? Like, because I can understand just the idea of like, because normally if something's stressful, we tend to avoid it. But in this case, because I'm like Kimmy and the boys,
right?
Like you're not doing it in front of them.
No, I mean, in fact, I hid it from like them for the most part, you know. And then the stressful part was that I didn't want to do it. I knew it was a problem because it was affecting me physically, mentally, just like everything, you know, because it's not something I want to do. So it didn't make me, it makes you feel good in the moment, of course.
Were you running while doing this?
So that was
was that affected? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
It does, because I didn't know if the vape affects the lungs the same way that
it's not the same as tobacco for sure. Like tobacco is like way worse because there's way more. There's tar and just real smoke and everything. But it definitely I could tell for sure.
So it's interesting to me because I have friends that either used to chew or smoked, and the nicotine. I've never experienced addiction with nicotine or anything like that. And in college, of course, like there was times where parties, it was just kind of like the norm that, you know, cigarettes were something that was part of the college experience and where I went. But I never felt addicted. Now these guys, they literally are still chewing nicotine candies or the
Zins.
Yeah, like the things, and like a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like, did you have to wean off with something?
So I tried doing all these tricks of like, oh, I'll just do it this much or just like do it slow down. But like, I guess the way my mind works, I just want it like I want it. And so I always did like the 5%, which is the highest milligrams. It's like the biggest high. And like, it's just because it hits way harder. And it's just, I don't know, I would be really bad with drugs, I think. So,
well, that's another, like you've written about your brother's struggle with it, with drugs. I'm guessing that there is like, see, here's the reason why I would be nervous is if I know that it's in my family, then I'd be like, I may be predisposed.
Is that how it works though? Like, I mean,
there's could be some genetic factors as far as like, because the thing with nicotine is it is out of your system, I think within, I forget what it is, a week or couple weeks. And then at that point it's just mental and habits and stuff. And I really struggle with that. And it would just be like getting past the
So you finished lunch.
Yeah.
And normally you might want to go for a walk or do something and have a vape that triggered, having lunch would trigger.
Yeah. Or just like hanging out with friends or doing this. I mean, it even became where I would, if I do a long run, like it's almost like
the reward
after that. Yeah. And so it was like connect. And the problem with vaping too is that you can do it anywhere. Yeah. Like, so like with cigarettes, everyone can smell it, you know, you're doing it, you can only do it outside, but like vaping, like that's the issue is like everyone just takes it everywhere and does it anywhere. And so it becomes even more, and then you're tethering it to all these other activities or things or places and whatever. And I feel like that was the hard part for me. And so eventually it just got to the point where I was just like, oh, and it also made me want to drink more too, because it goes like, and maybe that's from the band days when like smoking cigs and drinking beers like go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And so I felt like that was part of the equation as well. So it was like, I felt like last fall is when it all came together. So that's when I quit drinking, but I was still vaping at that time. And basically I quit the day before the Cherry Blossom 10 miler this year.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was going on like that long.
Yeah. And that was like it. So it's been 7 months today, actually.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So that's like a weird, but I felt like such a fraud. Like that's why I didn't tell anyone, because I told you the one time I tried to quit.
Yeah.
And then,
I thought it was done at that point.
And I quit for like a month or two. And then I was
Did
like,
you
oh,
feel,
I can do this again. Like whatever.
Did you feel like what, did it hurt your self-esteem when you thought about like, I can't, like I'm doing this? And it's like, did you associate it with like a guilt?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Guilt, failure. Like especially quitting it seemed like such a failure because I tried so many times. And it wasn't until I finally like asked my wife, who is a huge help, to be like, you literally have to ask me like every day to my face, like, and just realize that it's going to suck for a month or so for sure. Cause it was like, yeah, the first month is just like really.
Was she understandable?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
understanding?
No, she was totally fine. And that was huge, but just like, yeah, it's just like such a bad, nasty addiction, because getting off nicotine is like the mood swings, the cravings it just feels like there's a devil inside your head that's just like hammering you nonstop. It's like, you should do this. You should do this. You should do this. Like, and I'm just like for the first couple of weeks or whatever. So that was always why it's just like, and I like, it gives me more sympathy for people who do hard drugs. Like, because if you're doing nicotine in your relapse, you just go into work the next day. If you do hard drugs in your relapse, you wreck your car and go to jail. But it's the same thing. Like, I get how hard it is because it's so annoying. You just want because it's the cravings are just so hard.
When did you feel like you were out of it?
I felt like maybe 3 months in. Once the hardest part was, I think 2 months after that, or a month and a half after, I did a weekend hang out with like all my friends.
That's what I was going to ask you next, was like, you were away this weekend. Like, there's got to be a dude in the group that smokes or.
Oh yeah. Two of my friends were like smoking actual cigs, which they don't normally, but they just were like, yeah, we're having like hanging out. And I didn't feel like it was fine. Like that wasn't an issue, but I would say a month and a half after that, it was like, all my friends got together for like a beach weekend, and everyone like most of them vaped, and it was like crazy hard. But I felt like once I got past that was like the turning point, and now I'm good. But all that to say, I feel like that journey, and now like since it's been 7 months, I feel like my running has been so much better. I feel like that's why I'm like looking forward to running New York City, because it's like, oh, I can actually like, I feel like
enjoy it,
performing well.
Yeah.
And it's like, whereas if you think about it during Tokyo training or Boston or back in
well, I think like, I've always looked at your running as it's difficult for you to get a string together because you are always having either an injury or something that was affecting training, usually at the worst opportunity. Like, I get injured.
Yeah.
Like, I was, most of the summer, I felt like I was struggling with injury, and I was using the lever and doing all that stuff. And it finally started clearing up just in time for New York.
Yeah.
Where I feel like your journey is usually, as soon as you start trying to give an effort, that's when you would get injured.
Yeah, and well, I think part of that, I mean, there were some freak things like my leg getting cut before in New York last year, and some other
From
stuff.
dumpster diving?
I wasn't. I was dumpster just waiting.
This is why he can't get a job with the New York
I was wading through the dumpster.
Sanitation department.
Yeah, they won't have me on. I have a mark on my record, but they.
Everybody knows you don't go in the dumpster.
I do think the stress of. I think maybe the stress of that and other stuff led maybe more to injury. Maybe I was getting worse sleep. I was,
It was a storm.
more susceptible to just things like that. And so I think that was definitely a contributing factor. And yeah, I'm like, I feel like, and Meg, I'm sorry, like if I haven't, like, I don't know, I feel bad. Like I haven't.
No, you shouldn't feel bad.
Because it's just
about
like
anything.
I felt bad. I felt so bad about it that I couldn't kind of get it under control, and that I couldn't like, and that's just I was doing it as a runner, and someone like on this podcast and stuff.
Well,
that
I
people
mean, I
listen
think it's
to.
interesting because I find that regular runners always have imposter syndrome. Like it doesn't matter where you are. Like even at Meg's level, I think that sometimes like
Yeah, when I walked in that 10 in Chicago, I was like, I shouldn't be here.
exactly.
Yeah.
And or when I talk to her, I'm like, you just talk to an athlete who can run 10 minutes faster than you. They're sponsored and that is what they do for a living. And you're like, I can never be like that. And I think I have it. I've been running now. New York's going to be my 40th marathon.
Wow.
And sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
am I really? And so I understand from your perspective, like going through this, working a job where you're running focused. And let's be real, ours isn't necessarily all performance based. Ours is more like
Sure isn't.
talking about product and the culture around running that we enjoy. But I could see how that might affect you in an adverse way.
Well, and in some ways I felt guilty because I'm like, have all these awesome opportunities of running Tokyo, running Boston. And it's like, I'm not making the most out of it. And I felt I wasn't doing the best that I could, where other people would die for that opportunity. And I'm just like, it is what it is.
Can I
but
ask
it's
you a
just like,
question though?
what?
Your experience in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the end was rough for you at that marathon,
Yeah.
but your overall experience,
Yeah.
is it not one of your, like a jewel in your pocket? Like I feel
For
like
sure.
both Boston and Tokyo earlier this year, which is amazing to say that those both. How long ago does Tokyo feel?
Oh, it feels
Like 5 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But those experiences and getting to do that to me are highlights. Like those are.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And I didn't just, during our trips, like I didn't, which was, when we're so busy that it's hard, you don't have to think about it that much. But yeah, that was, no, I'm totally grateful for that. And I cherish every moment of it for sure. But I just felt like there was some things I could have, I just felt like I could have done better, and it is what it is. I think that, dude, what really, the biggest problem was that I ran so well at that Donna half marathon.
Yeah.
And that was, I think I had quit like a few weeks before that, just at that time, but I was still like in the zone of that. And I was like, oh, I can still
do both.
I can do this. And that was like a bad thing because I thought I can do both.
That happens to me
And
every
then
once in a while.
caught up to me eventually.
With drinking. So like if I have a long run or something and the night I'm like, I'll just have a cocktail tonight. It's a long run. I don't have to worry about paces. And you get by and you actually have a good run that next morning. You're like,
Yeah. You're
all
like,
right.
I can do this.
Yeah.
No,
I don't need to worry about it so much.
Yeah. So just extrapolate that.
And then it
to
goes sideways.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like the big silver lining here is like you can get through that. Like that should make running a lot easier.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's so much easier because, well, and
I just mean mentally, like if you can get through that, like
true.
mentally,
I see what you're saying.
the uncomfortableness of running should almost feel like nothing compared to going through that.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, there's not much, I don't know. It's definitely the hardest thing I've ever
Yeah.
done for sure.
I will say, take advantage of your physical health while you can.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a part of it. Yeah. And maybe it was.
Remember the Osters check-in last week where she's like, once you hit
40,
1% every year.
Yeah. And I think that.
yeah, but a little bicarb, there's your 1%.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking for 20% at this point, though.
And I think that maybe was part of it too, because I'm 41, so you do start to notice how things like drinking too much affect you way worse. You get worse sleep. Same thing with nicotine. If you're, vaping right before you go to bed, it's not great for sleep.
I see. Maybe that's why I never got addicted to nicotine. I never felt a benefit from the actual.
You should try vaping.
So, I know. I got to go try this. You talked me into it.
Oh gosh.
I'm going to get some Zims or whatever you call them.
Zins. Yeah, now that's the big thing. Everyone's like addicted to Zin. I'm glad I didn't do Zin
Dude,
because
my
I could
friend-
see myself.
What is Zin?
It's
It's
just
like a peppermint tablet.
you just put in your lip, and everyone's doing it now.
Dude, my good friend, I watch him. It's like as soon as one's gone, the next one's in.
That my one friend that I hung out with this weekend, he's the same. He doesn't smoke anymore, but the Zin is just pretty much nonstop. He's a doctor.
Well, I was going to say though, the nicotine itself, the dangerous part of nicotine is the smoke,
Right.
but the nicotine itself as a drug removed from, I think is it that bad for us?
So it's kind of one. I don't want this to be medical advice, but I think it definitely enhances cognitive abilities, at least in the short term. Like focus.
It helps you write an article.
Yeah. But there, Andrew Huberman, the Huberman Lab podcast, has a whole thing on it. You should listen to that, not me. But there are some possible negative effects as far as just general heart rate, things like that. I think caffeine also has, is a drug and has some negative things. Might be a little bit worse, but yeah, I would say out of all the options, I guess if you're gonna do Zin, and the vaping stuff is still, there's not a lot known about it. It's really crazy, and I swear that it was way harder to quit. There's no studies that show that.
Do you think they're adding something to it?
No, I just think that the way that it's distributed, like the high is so much higher than a cigarette high. And I loved it. Like, honestly, I loved it. So that's what I'm saying. I would be so bad with drugs because, like opiates or things like that, it would just be like, I would love it. So I'm glad.
I don't know, but
it's hard to break that.
Do you feel like you have an addictive, like personality when it comes to stuff?
I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
Like, I know that you joke around that, like, because if you tried Adderall or something in college, that.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't have access to that. That would be bad.
Yeah. I've never taken Adderall, but I could see the same thing kind of happening.
I just feel like while there's things I like, I don't know that there's anything that I feel has like a strong hold on me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I could.
I don't know. It's weird. And then I felt like with drinking and stuff, it kind of like takes it even to the next level, which is, I don't know, which is why I always want to do both.
Well, that's the weird thing is, like, you would think with weed and stuff like that, they're like, well, I'll do that instead of drinking.
Yeah.
And then you find people that they do both at the same time.
Yeah. And both excessively. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. I mean, it's funny too, because when I have told people about this or talked about it, you find out like, oh, a lot of people have a lot of addictions that people don't know about. Because then they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm like basically addicted to weed. I can't stop it, like morning till night. And I'm like, I did not know that. Or just like other runners or people be like, yeah, I do this too much, whatever. And I'm like, wow.
I mean, I know there's certain things I do too much.
Yeah.
And that I could cut back on. But I feel like when I need to cut back, it's not like a huge sacrifice.
Yeah.
So it's not like I definitely feel like you're right. Like, if you tie it to a habit or make it habitual, that it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because it becomes lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, like going to Y'all Out Boy when we go to TRE, not having a White Claw.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, right?
How am I going to do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but
Well, I'm glad you're on the other side.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and when does
when
this article come out?
I don't know. It said it was supposed to be.
Who was the editor from Men's Health that you worked with?
Her name is Marty.
Marty.
Yeah.
McFly?
Yeah. Marty Munson. Yeah. So thanks for that. But she
Oh, it's a she.
yeah. I think she's a triathlete. She listens to the podcast actually. She's
Oh, that's
probably listening
awesome.
right
Hi,
now.
Marty.
And so, anyways, so yeah, I think I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure when it's coming out, to be honest.
So
But it might be in the next week.
Do you
or so.
pitch them, or did they find out that you were vaping?
No, I pitched them. Yeah, they saw me. They saw
like,
me on the street
"Hey,
after
aren't
the New
you-
York City Marathon last year.
Aren't you Robbie Redinger from Believe in the Run?
Yeah.
What are you doing with that vape?
Yeah,
Let's
You
write
wanna
a
write
story
about
about it.
No, I made actually that was a good incentive to not do it anymore either, because I was like, man, if that gets published, I'm still doing it, then I'm really screwed.
There's one way to do it.
Yeah. But anyways, so I know I'm glad it's definitely a lot less stressful, and
Wow, this
I
might be
feel
one
better.
of our deepest
we don't usually don't get too deep.
drop. Yeah, like real stuff going on.
So then what do you guys got going on?
I've been hitting the crack pipe a little bit.
Yeah, I
they
can tell.
said, they said just one time.
Your face is really thinned out.
Yeah.
This isn't actually water.
Yeah, this is all vodka.
Oh, dude, on the way into the office today, over by the bus stop.
Tell me you saw a sealed bottle of vodka just sitting there.
Close. There was a woman. There's two people, a guy and a girl, about to get on the waiting for the bus, and she was wearing her Amazon uniform, and they're trading back and forth a handle of vodka, just slugging it.
A handle?
Or like one of the, not a whole handle, but the
Wait, an Amazon driver?
I think she was a factory worker.
Okay. Well,
But she had
I'm
her
not sure
uniform
that's
on.
better, but
Yeah, and she.
So if you get the wrong package, you may know why now.
They were just passing it back and forth one to another the whole time, trying to
Jeez.
finish it before the bus came. I was like, holy.
Well, that's the weird thing. Like every once in a while, you're running in the morning and you'll see somebody coming out of one of those corner liquor stores with like a little fifth or something. You're like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to say a fifth. But it was they were down in it.
Jeez.
It's like, man, it's
That's a long day though. Like, cause you get to work.
dude, I'm not judging. I get it.
I know, but I just feel like that's a long day.
Oh,
that's an awful day.
trying to keep a vodka high going on while
Yeah.
you're working at Amazon warehouse.
Like I usually try to time my drinks for it. Like I have an hour or two before bed.
yeah.
It's like out. Like if you start early drinking at like if I'm watching football and I'm at a friend's house and they're drinking and you have one in the middle of the day, like I'm guaranteed to not feel good around
Yeah.
5 o'clock, 6
You
o'clock.
either have to keep it going the whole way or take a nap.
Yeah.
Or eat Chick-fil-A and take a nap. I guess not on Sunday, but
Yeah.
all right. So anyways,
It had a little to do with running.
Should we talk about this shoe?
Yeah,
It has
we
something to
should.
do with running.
Asics will love this transition.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. All right, final check-in. We all worked really hard to get to the New York City start line. We're all pumped. I hope that you're excited for whatever you've got going on this weekend. But man, we made a choice to do this. This is what we like to do. There's moments where it's just beautiful and poetic, and there's moments where it sucks and it's hard. So just know that we're there with you on this journey. Whether you're in the highs or the lows, you got friends. So have a great run. Speaking of which, we're finally running in some new shoes.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, Robbie, I think we're getting some of the best shoes towards the end of this year.
yeah.
Like,
How much is it recency bias and how much is it the shoe is
okay,
that good?
I would
That's a good question.
I would say I ran in a shoe this morning that's not off of embargo until January, February. So it won't be included in this year. But if it was included this year, it would probably be one of my top plated daily trainers.
See, that seems recency bias.
It might be, but like I'm comparing, I was like thinking about when I was running, I'm like, okay, what do I like about this shoe? And then I was like, okay, what are my two top super trainers right now? I'm like, yeah, this shoe has to be in that conversation.
Which one again? Sorry,
I didn't
was
say
blanking
the
out.
name because it's under embargo,
Oh,
but
okay.
if you check my Strava, you'll see it. It's a
Wait,
shoe I don't
I'm trying to
normally
figure.
like.
I'm trying to figure out what it is.
It rhymes with Ocony and
Oh yeah.
Spadorfin.
But that doesn't come out till next year, though.
Need.
There it is.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So but I'm
It's all right.
saying
That's fine.
for this shoe, the Novablast 4 from Asics,
Mm-hmm.
I really like running in it. And as far as our simple daily trainers, which is I consider a simple daily trainer, a slab of foam, rubber outsole, nice upper.
Yeah.
This is probably one of my favorites to run in right now.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it more than I thought I was going to, because I never really
I can't believe
loved-
you're saying that. Like, I did all my miles for Grit last year.
We've had several comments on social of people being like, "Stop overhyping the Novablast. It's not that great."
I will say this. Yeah, it's where it fits in that makes it great. It's not like if you were to compare it to some of our super trainers or even the Super Blast.
Yeah.
I think the Super Blast is a phenomenal shoe. It's lighter. You've got the turbo. It's a fantastic shoe. It's also $200.
Right.
You drop down to $140 price point, and all you're looking for is a daily trainer that you can get miles in, feel good, your legs feel good, it's fun to turn over, it looks fast.
Yeah.
The shoe hits a lot of sweet spots.
So with the 3, I felt, I don't know, for some reason I just didn't come back to it. And it might be because of the Super Blast. We had the Super Blast.
I'm with you. I didn't go back to it.
That's
either.
what I would just run in.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite shoes.
Wait, you didn't go back to, but you got tons of miles in yours before you left.
Well, because here's what happened is we got that shoe right around the time we went to Eugene for Worlds, and we were doing Grit, and so we were running a bunch, and I only packed like that pair, so I got like 100 miles in like a week and a half. In that
we
shoe.
were doing nuts miles,
and it was great. But like Robbie's saying, then we got like the Super Blast, and I don't lace it up anymore.
Right. Well, there's 2 reasons I wouldn't. One, the Super Blast is, legitimately a tier above this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like for the reason I didn't do any more miles in the Novablast was I did 300 miles in it.
They were dead.
And yeah, they were cooked. And we move on to other shoes. And so it's like, I'm not going to be like, hey, Asics, send me another pair, because we had other shoes to review. So there's no point into me going back. But coming back to this one, and so we got it last Thursday.
Sure.
I ran Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Not Friday. I ran Thursday, Friday off.
Anyway, you got it's decent mileage.
I got decent, and I was like, this shoe does what you need a trainer to do.
So let's talk about some of the updates, because what's crazy is there's only 0.5, which is so dumb, millimeters more of foam underfoot.
That's not
according
even
to
a
them.
measurement.
Right.
You need a microscope for that. That's a snowflake weight.
Yeah. But it feels like a lot more. Like maybe it's the Flight Foam Blast Plus, what is it? Eco. That feels so different.
Eco Montañas.
Or the the geometry. I don't know, but it feels like more foam underfoot, especially under the forefoot, and bouncier.
I agree. Continue.
It also feels a little firmer, which people are going to take as a negative. But in this particular case, I feel like that elevates the shoe into something that feels a little sportier.
Yeah, I agree, and I like that about it. I think that's why, I don't know, maybe the Novablast has always been super bouncy, like, I don't know.
The first one was tough for us because it just didn't work with our gates.
This is stable.
This is stable. I'm saying the first one, the second one, even the third one, a little bit better, but still somewhat unstable, a little bit squirrely.
I think incrementally each version has gotten better, and there's people out there that feel the opposite. But for the way that I like a shoe to run, each one has gotten a little bit better.
And that's what I wanted to tell people. I think in my part of the review that I wrote, I guess it's probably out now, is
if our website's working.
Is that it is, I think people who love the
original
craziness of the unstable, exciting bounce and whatever.
Okay, do you know who
they might not like this?
Wait, do you know whose favorite shoe the original one was?
Who?
Sarah Hall.
Okay.
Do you know what she wrote on our photo of it on Instagram?
What?
This is the best.
Oh, well, she is an Asics athlete.
Do you know? But like, I think she's particular about the Novablast.
Yeah.
I wrote back, "You're the best."
Wow. And he just kept doing that for 20
minutes.
No, you are.
Till she responds.
No tag backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the upper's better. I think it's the best version yet of the Novablast.
Yeah, the woven upper. It's soft. I like it.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say the outsole.
Mm.
All right. So originally I thought it's pretty grippier. I still think it's better than last year's.
Pretty grippier.
More grippy.
I don't know. You're the Oxford Dictionary.
I'm not great with some words. Grippy and its modifiers. I took it out last night when it was raining, and I had to say, not super great.
What? I ran in the rain.
Really?
And I thought it was fine.
Dude, I felt some slippage. Not.
Well, you're probably running on regular roads. Robbie's probably running by the oil refinery.
No, I was running the same route. I was on the bricks and then on the pavement.
Right.
I would say on some of those like stone, the sidewalks that are made of pebbles.
Yeah.
That was a little sketch.
What sidewalks are made of pebbles?
It's like looks like a conglomerate stone or whatever.
Those are always slippery, I think.
Maybe, but I just felt.
Okay.
I even felt just general unsure of my. I
didn't feel sure-footed.
Exactly.
All right.
I think it's better than the last version, but I don't know. So you didn't experience that? You didn't feel
I
it?
didn't have any issues. Yeah.
You ran last night. Oh yeah, I passed you. You didn't see me. You were running through. Did you run through Fells Point at one point? Like down that side street?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
You said you did on a cobblestone.
I intersected you. I was right behind you, and you didn't feel like catching up to you. I didn't want to. Didn't want to make you feel intimidated.
I have to like in the first impressions, I said that I didn't feel like you could switch gears easily in it. But I'm running my long run on Saturday, and I see Megan, and I'm like, she's doing her easy run. I could probably catch up to her. She was like 200 yards in front of me. Not 200 yards, because that maybe a football distance.
Okay.
So maybe 100 yards.
6 inches.
Yeah. So I start picking up the pace. And I'm tracking her down. I'm getting her down. I'm getting closer and closer and closer. But I'm also getting tired because I'm probably running at this point like way out of my zone.
Goodbye, New York City.
Yeah. And so I yelled to her. I'm like, yo. And because she was at a corner. Anyway, she turns, sees me. So I catch up with her. She doesn't really slow down. But I was able to slow down from the pace I was going to chase her.
Okay.
But I was able to stay with her. And I was like, oh, these shoes can pick it up. I was able to stay with her. Not for a long time.
Enough to creep her out.
Yeah. No, I did that to Becca the other morning.
Oh, really?
And I was like, my vision's pretty bad.
Oh, no.
Maybe I should.
And it was dark. It was a dark
Is
morning.
that an Emily Sisson
and he
situation?
crept up on her.
It was
I
dark
like, "You can't
morning.
do
I was
that."
like, oh, I'll go run with Becca. So I run up to her, and then I kind of like hover a little bit. And
I thought you said hug her. I was like, that would be...
And then I got this moment of panic because you know how my eyesight is. I had a moment of panic. I'm like, what if this is not Becca? And all of a sudden she has a dude just in the dark running up on her and like,
oh yeah,
like matching her pace. And then I was like, I better say something. I was like, Becca. She's like, yeah, hi. I was like, okay. Man. But there's a moment of panic there.
That's funny.
Probably for her too.
Yeah.
Again, that was in this show.
Did you see that Stav? The comedian Stavros, the guy who does that Ravens.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Impersonation, Ravens fan
Big boy?
impersonation. Yeah. He was just hanging out in Camp Waterfront Park last week.
Doing what?
Like just eating his morning bagel.
Did you say hi?
I didn't see him, so I saw someone else post it. And I was like, dude, the one day.
Do you think people are doing that about you? They're like, we were out. Yeah, right. Robbie's just on a disc golf course, just hanging out throwing discs.
That'd be hilarious. But the
turns out he was here in Suffolk, vaping.
Smoking squares. But when I was in Suffolk and I ran that 10-mile run, there was a lake loop at the end of the run that I ran around twice, and I thought I'm just gonna pick it up just for one, see how I'm feeling, feel good. And there's some people there that I want to pass, make them feel a little intimidated. But when there's like people ahead of you and you can catch them and you want to push it maybe a little bit, then it's an extra incentive.
Yeah, it's like racing. But they don't know you're racing.
It's a man-made race. And so I finished the loop, or when I finished my run, I got back and I was like, holy crap, I got a CR on that loop, which not super trafficked place. It's just in development, but I ran like a 6:35 637 mile.
What shoe were you wearing?
That.
All right.
Yeah, and I was pretty surprised because I thought I was running 7:15s or something, and
Look at you.
I was pretty.
You're ready to run.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised that it was that. So that felt good. And
So how serious are you about New York?
I'm not. I will say I don't feel that nervous about it.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. There are optional things on our schedule for New York City. So Friday night,
yeah, I'm going to that.
you're going out to the 11 p.m. karaoke?
Oh, there's an 11 p.m. karaoke?
Yeah.
No way. I didn't see that. Oh, dude, I gotta stick around for that. Karaoke or a PR? That's hard to. It's a toss-up.
Yeah.
All right, that's how serious you are about New York.
Is there really karaoke at 11?
Yeah.
Man, I do want to see the Action Bronson.
Action Bronson.
Yeah, I'll stick around for that.
That's at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9. He's only going to play
You think
for
he's
a
gonna
little
do
while.
karaoke?
I don't know about that. He's probably he's going to do singing. So
that is karaoke. He's doing it.
Oh, he's
all
a
the
rapper,
time.
so
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he'll pull out a couple songs. Dude, that'd be cool though. Man, why does it have to be that? Why can't it be Sunday night after the marathon?
It does seem like interesting timing there. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it does. I think it does separate the people who are serious from the people that are recreational.
Don't put that guilt on him.
No.
What times I run in the morning?
Plus, they're
10
handing
a.m.
they're handing out free vapes at the, at the karaoke
Sponsored
bar.
by Juul.
Yeah, it's sponsored by R.J. Reynolds.
Yeah, dude, I might take that and just resell it because those are expensive, especially in New York City.
Yeah.
That was another thing. I've saved a ton of money over that span.
Oh boy.
Because Maryland, they really hammer you with the
How much is
taxes.
How much does like a day's worth of vaping cost?
Well, one of the pods lasts for like 4 days. So, but they're $15, $14 each. So you're spending $70 a month. That's a lot of money.
That's more than some people spend on weed.
Yeah, for sure. And I would always get the single one because I was like, oh, I'm gonna quit, and never like because if you buy the 4-pack, you're just admitting to failure.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's a month.
Which is how they get you because they know everyone thinks they're like
This is the last time.
Anyways, but yeah, the New York City's exciting. I'm looking forward to. Dude, the run's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, so
we should stop advertising it at this point.
But let's just say if for some reason you haven't gotten it yet and you're listening to this on Friday, it's gonna be 10 a.m. at Levon Midtown.
Levon. It sounds like I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like it was Stefan on SNL, you know.
Yeah.
Come to Levon, the hottest club in New York City. It is gonna be the hottest club.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. The RSVPs are insane. You know who's going to be there. I mean, I don't even want to. I want to have a list when we get there of everybody who's there because I don't want to miss out on anybody. But the people that are going to be there are insane. Like you're gonna.
If you have an Instagram account, you follow every one of these people.
Yeah.
At least 1 to 20 of them.
And if they're not there, they're probably not on Instagram.
Yeah. Or they're getting paid off a major big shoe.
Yeah. They probably have
Pharma companies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something that's like pharma but shoe.
Yeah.
Big foot.
How about big?
That's Jared.
How about Vibram? That would be,
Big 5 finger.
Yeah.
But man, it's gonna be good. I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest.
Why?
The shakeout?
Yeah.
I
You know
love
how am.
chaos.
Logistics for me.
It could be.
It's an
complete-
out and back,
yeah.
right? We can't mess that up too much.
Meg, did you say what you thought of these shoes?
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Novablast 4?
We're going back to the Asics Novablast 4.
No, go. I just didn't remember you giving an opinion.
I will say they come out December 1st for $140. So
But-
or if you're in New York City,
In New York City,
right.
they'll be at the expo at the
Bandit
Asics
socks,
booth.
first come, first serve.
So yeah, you can get your hands on them early if you're there.
what was that,
All right.
Thomas?
Bandit socks.
Yeah.
They're giving out Bandit socks with the shoes.
Oh.
First come, first serve.
That's
So
like
if you purchase a
$20
pair,
right there.
they're probably more than that.
And they match.
Which colorway do you like better, Robbie? Do you like coffee and cream with mint or straight up lime Arita?
I'm more of the Kardashian
Yes.
colors.
You're in there?
Yeah.
See, and you get a choice every once in a while because you're in that flux stage where both colorways are usually made. You could get these.
Yeah, I could. I mean, I like the limes. It's just I feel you basically have to wear a black running kit if you're wearing the Lime shoes.
I don't
There's
know.
no
Some people,
options.
those people.
Yeah.
Who like neon everything.
Yeah. Dude, I felt bad because I went to the kids cross country race this past weekend. Philip, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. But this guy named Philip came up to me and so he's like, big fan of the podcast, like, and I was like, thanks, man. Start talking for him a bit, but he was wearing a Sprints hat. And we kind of like joked around about that at one point, which, whatever. I don't care.
Which one was he wearing?
I don't remember.
Oh, you didn't joke around with him. You're talking about when we joked around with it
on the
we
podcast
said how
before.
ridiculous they were.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that crazy because I would have remembered if it
was it pickles and cream?
A bunch of donuts.
I would have remembered if it was a bunch of bananas or donuts.
Yeah.
It would just look like a pattern. But his kid got, I think, 3rd place in the race, so shout out to him. I'll give him a shout out. Why not?
Way to go, Philip's kid.
Do we have any? Hopefully his name was Philip. We'll see how the memory works this week. But I want to see if we had any. Oh, you know what I did want to read? Maybe some of the interactions we had on Spotify, because you can leave a comment or poll. Remember, you asked me to do a poll?
Yeah.
You said, do you lay out all your nutrition and gear the night before a long run? 61% said yes.
Oh, wow.
38.
That's more than I would think, but that's awesome.
Before a long run? I think that's long run. Fair.
And we had 110 votes. That's pretty good. And then as far as some of the...
Do you know what? Somebody should come up with a product for that.
What?
A
layout.
Stuff out. Yeah, a layout table or something.
And then I think there's somebody who said... Oh, a lot of people loved your backwards short story from last week. Like...
I'll try to.
It just is pretty amazing.
Try to do that one again.
And then somebody said that finding change on the ground is called street sweeping, according to Brittany Charbonneau. Didn't we have her on the podcast?
Yeah.
So
that she does that. I forgot.
That's right.
Yeah, that's like her
I
thing.
do like that, street sweeping. Okay. I'll have to do that, call it that from now on. And then someone asked, why do you all not engage with the dog in the interview?
Ralphie, stop licking your butt.
Oh, yeah.
The people want to see you.
He's definitely pleasuring himself right next to us.
I mean, we may at some point develop a Ralphie cam, but Ralphie is probably the sweetest, most docile guy, unless he doesn't know you.
Unless he doesn't know you, and
then he will bark at you for an hour straight.
Yep.
He won't bite you. He won't attack you. He just bark at you.
Just loud.
He just makes a noise.
So yeah, that was cool. Thanks for leaving the comments on the Spotify. It's nice to see that people are listening and interacting with it. And the thing I don't like though is that you can't reply back. So sometimes I feel bad about
interface.
That. Yeah.
So, and you had a big interview this week the release on Monday was you and Cam Haynes.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's gotten positive feedback, which, not that I'm surprised, but I do feel like typically we have some people that I would think are polarizing on the podcast.
Yeah.
And overall, the feedback seems to be pretty healthy.
Yeah. I was a little bit surprised too, just because, I don't know. I mean,
everybody gets upset about everything these days, and he's not an apologetic guy.
Yeah. But he was, really down to earth, which is cool because he's pretty popular in certain circles. But he was super cool, down to earth. I thought it was a really good conversation, flowed naturally. A lot of people are just, you can tell, don't want to be there sometimes, or just feel pitchy about whatever product they're doing or shoe. And I thought it was pretty just down to earth and cool. And I liked, hearing what he had to say about ultra run. And we talked about Courtney DeWalder and Sally McRae and their kind of mindset. Because he does some stuff with them. He has like a thing that he does called lift, run, shoot, which is like you go out, like he has people go out there and lift and then run and shoot bow and arrow.
I saw Sally did that.
Yeah. And I was like, could you imagine if we did that? How sad that would be. We could do one of those activities.
I mean, yeah.
The utter failures at the other two.
I've shot a bow and arrow.
Have you?
Yeah.
Really?
At camp.
Okay. Like
it's been a minute, but
yeah.
I try. So
that's actually the one thing I haven't done, which is
it's
kind of
surprisingly
crazy.
hard.
Yeah, I could see that.
The compound bow or the regular one?
I don't know what I had.
At camp, you probably had like a regular one. The compound bows are pretty cool, but Rob James, he had a crossbow.
Oh yeah,
and I don't know how I did it. Oh, I think I was looking through the site, and I had my glasses on. And when I pulled the trigger, it hit me in the face and knocked my glasses off.
Oh yeah.
And
Kicked
there's
back.
laughter went. But yeah, but
yeah, crossbows are. I think they're just used for zombie apocalypse at this point.
I don't know that they stop anything. I think like what would you use a crossbow for?
I guess you could hunt. You can hunt with it.
Like squirrels?
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty powerful, right?
Oh yeah. This thing was a.
But I think that generally it's like bow hunting is the way to go. And I thought it was cool talking about the way that I feel like true hunters are focused on the way, providing the food, getting the food actually from nature, providing it for their family, like all that, which is really cool. Like that's the most eco-friendly and natural way to do it if you're going to eat meat.
Well,
really.
you lived in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I know it's the standard argument for hunters, but literally the deer would, they're either going to be hit by cars. Yeah. They're going to like
too much. I mean, you go to Druid Hill Park, it's overrun with deer.
Yeah.
Someone really should go in there and have like a hunting day.
Yeah. Or just there's a zoo there. Just put some deer in the lion
just put
cage.
a fence around it and
yeah,
good. But no, I think that it's cool hearing that point of view. And
did you change your perception of him during the interview, or was he pretty much who you expected?
Pretty much. I mean, maybe a little bit. I wasn't sure. I think he comes off sometimes he engages with a lot of people on Instagram and is pretty not defensive, but just kind of like doesn't back down.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure. You never know. Like some people, he's a high profile public figure. Some people let that get to their head, kind of talk down to you in a way, but he's the same level. It's cool.
Yeah, we did remember when Under Armour had the trail series?
Mm-hmm.
He actually was at the one that we did in Oregon.
Oh yeah, okay.
And was that Bend?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bend, and I mean, he at the time they're just like he was part of their hunting division or whatever they had at UA.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't expect him to be like an ultra runner. I just thought it's one of the hunting guys who wants to go out and do a 50K.
Yeah.
And I think he did quite well, but the course also it was not marked very well.
Oh, okay.
I actually got lost on it.
Yeah.
But he seemed like a chill guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as, you're cool, he's cool. And yeah, it was good. Good conversation. But anyways, anything else we got going on this week?
I think that's it. I hope it's going to be weird because people aren't going to have long runs if they're running New York. So
True.
I don't know who's listening.
Do you think, didn't we do that last year? Like if you're listening to this while you're running.
Oh yeah. New York.
Do we do anything for that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Good luck.
But yeah. Well, yeah, if you're running New York and listening to this, you're a real trooper because this one got deep. Hopefully it got.
Can you listen? No one can listen to podcasts during New York. It's so loud.
I don't think you'd want to wear headphones, but you see people with headphones.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But you could say that it's driving distance and you're looking for podcasts to listen to as you drove to New York.
You should do a thing. You should,
or train
for the check-ins this
plane.
week. You should say, "This is Thomas. Look around you. Do you see me anywhere? Am I on the course? Am I on the train that you're on? Maybe I'm here." And then if it happens, that'd be pretty cool.
I'm talking to you. Turn around.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So that wraps it up. Anything you want to say, Meg?
Hi, Mom.
All right. That's it.